listening to the opening of the Todd Glass Show. Not a good idea to have the board around me when I'm making the opening. Hi. How are you? Give me 45 seconds to rip through some dates. I'll be at a club I've only heard great things about. April 25th through the 27th. Comedy on State Street in Madison, Wisconsin. Comedy on State Street. Then I'll be at the new Helium in Buffalo the 2nd through the 4th of May. And then the last date in May is the Punchline in San Francisco, the week of the 15th. I'm not sure what their week is. I think it starts on Wednesday the 15th, and it ends on the 18th or the 19th, which would be Saturday or Sunday. So there you go. 3 really good clubs. So there you go. Okay, there's that. There's that. And it's a very silly show. But you know, this is a week where you need silliness, right? Right. I am right. Chris, stop it. Seriously. He's not even here. Enjoy the show. I might even say we might have sang even a little too much on this show. We got sing crazy, but it's all good. It's all good. And here you go. Here you go. There you go. Look at you. That's the way I talk to Ursula. I always go, Ursula, did you part your hair in it? Did you part your hair in a different way? It looks very... Or I say, guess who called today? They called the prettiest dog in the world contest. You won. No, I'm not joking. She gets all excited. All right. Enjoy the show today, and I will see you next week on the Todd Glass Show. Katie, roll in that little sound that you roll in right now. And I hope you feel better.
That just abruptly stops. Give me some sort of notice. But,
Well, maybe he should put those headphones on and listen.
well, no, I mean, you'll be able to see if it turns off or if time stops moving.
We're running. This is something we've never done before.
What?
We're running the ship with no, like usually Eric goes over to the wheel. Eric's not here. And Eric, we want you to know that we miss you already.
Wherever you are.
Desperately.
And Daniel Kino is in Beijing.
What?
And he said he got an allergic reaction and his face swelled up to 2 times its normal size.
Why?
I said, welcome to my world. My face. What did you say, Tom?
Why? What's he doing in Beijing?
He's doing shows.
Wow.
Yeah, he's doing shows. And
To
he said it's-
who? In English to
I
Chinese people or Americans?
A little bit of everything. He said the local comedians are great, and he said that
Really?
are fun to talk to. And,
Wow, I
and
can't
he's-
wait to hear his stories. If there was censorship, or he felt a sense of freedom, or if his Russian background influenced anything. Wow.
Shh, no one knows about that.
Edit that out.
Yeeks a doodles.
That would be funny if like all the audiences he'd been performing for have been giving him great reactions, and little does he know
They don't speak English.
any
Yeah.
English, and they're just like going along with it.
Right? They've been instructed.
All right, here's what we're going to do. Maybe we should do the thank yous in the cold open.
Sure.
Then we start the show, right? It's a good idea. So here we have with us today, we have Tom, it's the smallest family, but with Keaton, who's been here before, and Barry, who I know who used to work at E-Comic Branding originally. And he did all the bottle discipline videos that are online on YouTube. That's the first creative thing I did with Barry.
Wow,
And
that was Barry?
Keaton I met because a friend of mine was trying to flush out an idea for a show, which I thought was really interesting. Anyway, there's the backstory. Maybe we'll talk about the show later after we take a break. So Barry's here, Tom's here, Chris is here, I'm here. But there's no Katie. There's no one behind. No Eric. No Katie.
No one who really understands the buttons.
Well, usually all the work
except Chris.
Usually all the work we need Katie for is in the beginning. Like, the headphones aren't working. Once she gets it going, it's usually smooth sailing.
Oh my God, Todd, my headphones stopped working.
You swear to God?
No.
Chris?
He's going to lose his mind.
He doesn't know what you don't know when to stop. All right. Listen, oh my God. I guess you all heard about Rachel and Jeff, right? The way they met. Oh, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Rachel
and Jeff. Oh, it's such a beautiful story.
Beautiful couple.
Oh, they meet, this person, we think we'll meet anybody, and then they meet that person, and then in a weird situation.
Beautiful.
Soulmates.
Soulmates.
I didn't know Jeff could be a girl's name.
It didn't make any sense, but I liked it. Anyway, so then the show we shot, we're doing a version of it. It's going to be. We learned a lot by shooting that show for the live stream. Yeah, Eddie Pepitone show. We absolutely will have a highlight reel from that. But we're not doing the whole show because we learned a lot. It was the first time we did it. This is a little boring, so I want to get through it quick. But hi everybody, I'm Todd Glass. For years. Okay. Pause it. So we learned a lot about how to shoot it and some of the the backdrop over there. So we learned a lot of stuff and how to get the crowd shots in because when there's an audience here, it's fun to get them in on it. But we learned a lot, so we're going to make it short. And then if we do it, I'm dying to do a cartoon. I would love to just do a cartoon, like a 25-minute cartoon.
Animating what went on?
4 or 5 bits from the show.
Yeah.
And then it goes to black after every bit, and then it goes an angry guy at the supermarket. Because they take our bits I thought they did a great job of taking, when you're a comedian, you can talk a bit. Uh-huh. Sometimes we'll get into the bit and actually do it, but a lot of times we talk it. You're like, what if this happened? And then the grocery guy, and it's a lot of direction, and then you do short little. They take that, and they make it into awesome cartoons.
I wonder if they would animate the digressions, too, where you...
I wish they would.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah, it just goes back to me, or it just goes back to me in the studio doing it. And then we always go back to the cartoons, which would be funky. To see it actually coming, every bit derives from us sitting in the circle. Which I know that's sort of half of what you're saying, but...
No, but you could peel away the animation that's going on and then have an animated Todd Glass rearranging the bit and fold back the animation, so now it's a new set.
Animated Todd Glass, even better.
Yeah.
Look at me. Who wouldn't like an animated Todd Glass? All right, so listen. So there's that. I said hi to Daniel and Eric. Jimmy Pardo's got a great show this week. We don't want to tell you who it is, but always on the Never Not Funny, Jimmy Pardo sits down. Look, Jimmy Party, and that's his new name, Jimmy Party. Yeah, he's it's Jimmy Party.
He legally changed it.
Jimmy Pardo. Jimmy advertises on the show. It's the only it's one of the advertisements that I don't mind because I love that show. Never Not Funny. You'd think everybody would have heard it. You always think everybody knows Never Not Funny. If you know anything about comedy, there's always some new people that haven't heard of it. He
was like the first podcast.
He was. That's the way I look at it. There's always somebody, that's not true. I get it. The first one that we were aware of in the comedic community. I know who did it before him. Me. That's the truth. I had a podcast and Jimmy Pardo gave me $20 to not do it. He said, I have something I'm working on. You know what? Fred Stoller.
Oh, yeah, he's got that book out.
Yeah, it's called
a book signing.
Maybe We'll Have You Back. You know what? Go buy it. I don't read books.
The title is Maybe We'll Have You Back?
Maybe We'll Have You Back.
What's it about?
Fred Stoller is always funny. Chris Rock.
It's about the life of a perennial TV guest star.
Favorite?
The foreword is by Ray Romano. So.
Yeah. Fred's, by the way, I'm not going to lie and say I read the book, because guess what? I didn't read one stinking page of it. But I love Fred, and I bet it's a great read.
Can I borrow it?
That's an honest
I'm sure
review. I know they wouldn't use that on television. Chris Rock says Fred Stoller's never not funny. Never not funny? Oh, he's always funny. I'm thinking of Jimmy Pardo's show.
Oh. What is that show?
What if I was getting paid? Chris, remember what I said. Don't trust your instincts. Right from.
So my instincts are telling me not to talk anymore, so I'm just going to keep talking.
Now trust your instincts. All right, let me just trying to rip through some stuff. Now, here's one more thing I want to get through, and then we're gonna play that theme, and it's going to be a show of. Let me tell you something, folks. This is the cold opening. What type of show do you think we're going to have
it's
today?
already been such a great cold opening.
They've
already got their money's worth.
I love Tom Martin. That is. So, okay. So, I want to do this in the cold opening.
What?
at London, we talked about this off the air, and I'm to George Carlin, I thought about it all day.
Uh-huh.
I would have only done this if because you feel the way I do. You don't want to attack this person. I have no desire to, say mean-spirited things or, sometimes what happens when somebody does something you don't like or listen closely or offends someone that you love and you think, oh, shut the fuck up, Todd. What do you care? Look what you do in your show. You don't make fun of people. You don't. Well, I think I do have some. I don't think I do. If I do, I would think about it. Mm-hmm. Like that thing where we use the girl talking about I'll have this and I want that. And
right.
We took. I love that she liked it because she must have got that. It had nothing to do with making fun of her. It had to making fun of putting her in a fake situation. And you get mad at this fake person you made because she's not at a restaurant ordering food that isn't there. She's listing foods in a funny manner. She's just listing food she would want. If you take that person and you put them in a restaurant, then it's a fucking psychopath. So she wasn't. So I wasn't making fun of her. The girl that can't hit the note. I know. What about the girl that couldn't hit the note? The truth is, I thought about that. And I thought, well, I guess I did it because I thought there's no way she'll see it.
Right.
She's a little girl. She's frustrated she can't sing. But what I wouldn't do, as I get into my Judge Judy mood, go to her webpage and write a vicious comment. If you don't see the difference.
Would somebody do that? Do you know?
Well, not vicious, but I'm going to. Here we go. So this person felt the need to. And by the way, remember what I said? I'm not going to yell. I guess I just sort of did. Doesn't mean I can't catch myself. To George Carlin, really don't want it to be. It's just, I love dissecting a person. The segment should be called, Who is this? Does this affect their life? Would you meet them? And I bet the answer is yes and go, they're a nice person sometimes. If all you learn out of this is start understanding, and by the way, what I'm about to say, a lot of our listening audience is going to go, thank you. What's lost in translation of texting and emailing? Right, a sarcasm when or you don't.
You're getting ahead of the email,
Tom.
Let's read it.
I can't do it to you, but we'll take a break. No, this is all in the cold opening, Tom.
This is somebody who was not pleased with my
they weren't
my guest hosting.
They weren't pleased with your guest hosting.
It was a tweet from @London_calling_.
Yeah, and I don't have to read. He wrote 4.
4.
Yeah. And I just thought when he
just read the 3 meanest.
The one was like he could feel. By the way, some people might say, Todd, why are you doing this to Tom? Because I love you.
Yeah.
And I want to. You're going to listen to the show, so what am I going to do? And this person didn't give constructive criticism. And again, no desire. Well, but I catch myself because they're my instincts. But I really want to know, who is this person? They wrote something like they could feel. I'm going to say one more thing before I say it, and I'm oversetting it up.
Okay.
Why read the negative ones? Why? You know how many people wrote kind things and they're part of what? Yeah, you know what? I'm going to fucking say
3.
It. No, a lot more to me. That were like, it was fun. It was fun to hear you be when if you were uncomfortable to talk about that and see what it's like to sit in this. Hey, I know it's not David Letterman, but it's still fun to sit in a chair that somebody else sits in every week.
Believe me, it's so much easier to not host it and just sit on the side and chime in. I have new respect for people who do what you do, Todd, because you have to pay attention the whole time, whereas your instincts are to roll in and out of attention and, I could daydream and then come in again. But when you're in the driver's seat, you have to do everything, and there's no planning for it for the first time.
I did it once on a radio show in Philadelphia a long time ago, on a really small radio show, probably less listeners than this. But I was like, and it was fun, and I remember there were people, I loved that, like my family didn't think it was the need to, if they complimented me, act like I wasn't nervous. No, they go, you know what? You were, and you could tell.
My God.
And it was
so
fun
nervous.
to hear that, So that's what I mean. What's this person think?
I was exhausted afterwards. I was just so tired.
So the person that writes this, doesn't represent the masses at all. But I still think it's worth dissecting because it's like, who is this? What do they think? I can't call them on the phone and get to the bottom of it in a minute and have them go, oh, no, I'm sorry, I didn't. Hey, well, you said you didn't want to be rude.
Even though I haven't seen it yet, I can promise that London Calling or whoever it is, _London Calling, that I was way harder on myself than this person is going to be.
Well, he said it made him cringe.
Me too.
I shouldn't put someone of the caliber of
me?
No, Henry Phillips with somebody, and then again. But Todd, 98% of the people, they loved it. They loved the journey, probably more. Why? Even as I'm saying this again, I go, Todd, why? Because it's just, who is this? It would be like if I had a son. And by the way, to George Carlin, this is not a way to say you did a bad job, because I will say this. I listened to the show and I fucking loved it.
Well,
to George Carlin, when you were nervous, I could tell, and I hoped for you, and I was like, hoping you. And then I go, he's getting comfortable. And then it made me cry. Then it made me just burst out laughing. But when you were uncomfortable, I was like, oh no, I didn't want you to be uncomfortable, and I get it. Again, I know it's not the Jimmy Kimmel show, but you still do a show. When you go up on stage and you do stand up in the beginning in front of 10 people, you're nervous. So when I do this, sometimes there's in the beginning and you get comfortable. So when you got uncomfortable, I wanted you to be comfortable. Almost like someone watching an open mic night and there's a guy that's real funny, but then he hits like a period. You're like, oh, no, it's okay. We love you. And that's the majority of our audience. And that's the good part. Yeah. That's the overwhelmingly the majority of our audience. But I'd say 99.9. So really, you're going to reference 1%? Yes.
Yeah.
Because I want them to think now and go, why did I do that? To help you in your own life. Some people might say, really? Could you be that so selfish, Todd? It has nothing to do with wanting to unleash on him. I swear to you, I would fucking love if this person wrote me an email and went, you're right. First I wanted to go, look what he does. He does this, he does that. And I regret some things sometimes I've done on a podcast. Not the end of the world. Something doesn't have to be the end of the world to regret doing it. Yeah. Don't have that attitude. Thank fucking God. Something I can just think of a bit. I'm better than that bit. It wasn't the worst bit in the world, but I don't want to just shed the worst bits in the world out of my act. That's not my goal. Or the podcast. Take whatever's disgusting and violent or completely wrong. Shed that. No, I want to shed things that go, I could have done better than that. So most of our audience was listening with the same love. This person. Who are you? What do you do to the people around you every day?
Well, can I also say another thing in my defense is that in order to do something good, you have to do it poorly a couple of times, or maybe a lot of times, whether it's stand-up or writing or hosting for somebody. Mm-hmm. What are the chances that I would have been awesome at it right from the get-go? But zero.
But it happened.
Well, thank you.
Well, Tom, I do have to dock your pay.
Oh. Well, in that case, I thought I did a great job.
Be honest with me, and I know, well, that's a weird expression. Genuinely, do you think that this was, do you understand why I wanted to talk about this?
Yes. Yeah, I think it's interesting. But I also think that I was in a different position than Henry, too. I'm not saying I'm nearly as funny as Henry. I don't think I am. Henry's great, and he's at the top of his game. And I've been in a room for the last 16 years in my head writing and hardly talking at all, although I have a stand-up background. But the other thing is my job was to kind of interview and set up Henry. And if Henry were hosting and he was going to try and set me up.
It's Henry's fault is what you're saying.
Yes, thank you. Oh, thank God.
Tom Martin's the guest host.
Yeah, I love it.
That's my favorite part of the show.
This is the cold opening. Are you shitting me? This is like cheaper than free. Here's the thing that I think just happened though, and I get it because it's a slippery slope. The purpose of this wasn't for you at all to have to defend anything you did. Although I know it's always my instincts and yours. It was nothing about that because everything was great. You were always where you were at. Nothing can go wrong when you admit where you're at. Can only go wrong if you try to make pretend you're not scared or lost or even scattered for a second. If you admit that, then nothing can go wrong. As long as you're, like I say, I can't be scattered 99% of the show, but when you get lost, you're lost. This was all about, forget about any of the specific dialogue of what he said. Why you're defending it like I'm bringing it up to, you know what I mean? Right. Tom, answer for some of these things that he's accused you of. When that's not what it's about. It's all about why did he feel the need, whether right or whether wrong, to let me know that.
I think I have a theory on that.
Go ahead.
And I think that sometimes you just don't like people for reasons that you can't put your finger on. And maybe I was that person to him. He just doesn't like me. And I don't know if he can do much about that. Well, do you know if I was really good.
Do you know when
in practice he probably wouldn't have liked me either.
That's a really good point because you're right. There's two reasons. Now, someone go, come on. What? And also, you can legitimately not like somebody sometimes.
Sure.
I've found where I've prejudged someone and I didn't like them, but then I see them on an interview and I see another side of them and I go, oh my God, I just didn't like them for no reason. I had a perception. Other times you see someone in an interview and then you go, oh, that's why I don't fucking like them.
Right.
But sometimes you're right. You give someone a fair, in the business, an entertainer, you give them an unfair rap for no reasons. Not everybody. Some people I go, oh, I know why I fucking have a disdain for that person. Somebody else I go, I don't know why. Am I jealous? Am I?
Right.
Not that this person is. That's not my point, sir. Just there's definitely a reason. And by the way, if your reason is, because I wanted to let him know. Well, then that's the reason.
What was that reason?
I wanted to let him know. That's why I tweet. What, I can't say anything? Sir, we're just discussing what you're saying. If you think we're saying you shouldn't have said it, then you're going to have the fake argument like the people do with the word. That's a fake argument. You should say whatever you want. I do not think you shouldn't have tweeted that. I just love to discuss why you wanted to. You're listening to the Todd Glass Show, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we do. Oh, no.
What if it was just 2 hours of you finding people who just had terrible things to say about me? It was like one after the next.
Funny guy,
like, how long before I walk out? It's like an hour and a half. Wait, there's another?
Back this time.
Todd, I thought you said it was just
Call
one.
me ever again, because we're done.
The Todd Glass Show launches August 12th.
Todd, hey, it's Zach. Elton Macker.
Hello.
Man, I really want to come.
Hello.
I've got stuff to promote.
Comedy Central presents Todd Glass.
Yeah.
Glass. Ryan Regan. Again.
Hello.
If you don't want me to do
Hello.
podcasts, just,
Hello.
I don't know,
Hello.
let me know that.
Hello.
Do you want me to
Hello.
beg?
Hello.
Todd, it's Marin.
Hello.
Mark, I'm the guy
Hello.
that can't come on the Todd Glass Show.
Hello.
What do I fucking need to do?
Hello. Be nice to people.
The Todd Glass Show can be found at Nerdist.com. Please welcome Todd Glass.
From the beautiful La Cienega Strip, high atop Blackboard Motors,
You know, to George Carlin, I'm charged right now.
the Todd Glass Show.
I should have like a bigger opening.
Todd, one thing Todd.
The Todd Glass Show.
What?
Starring Todd Glass.
Wow, that's new.
It's not unusual to be loved by Todd Glass. 'Cause when you write a song that kisses ass, when I listen to my buddy Todd Glass,
I like it.
it's not unusual to masturbate.
That we didn't need.
He's so great, yeah. It's not unusual for Todd to get high.
You know why this is good? Because they, as silly as it is, they can sing enough to make it. You know what I mean?
If you ever should want to be loved by Todd Glass, just write a song for him. He'll play it on Friday.
All right. I love it. I love it.
Somebody sent that in.
If you kiss his ass.
They can sing. They do some good harmony. I want this. What's his name again?
Michael Gardner. I like the kissing noises.
Michael Gardner. All righty. Play Tom's
They're
song
like making
again.
noises like they're kissing your ass in the background.
Oh, is that what they were?
or something.
Well, that I didn't care for. Play Tom's again. I know it's nice to hear them.
Tom Martin's the guest host.
Surprise that listener that sent the angry tweet. Tom's hosting again today. Todd's the guest.
Todd's a hologram. Todd, so it's great to have you here today and have. A few
I thought you were going to do like I'm not even here at all. Like, we could have Family Guy the fuck out of it.
Tom
like,
does a
you just
15-minute opening.
Do like 3 minutes even. The audience would go, wait a second. When you called the girl with the it proves I did listen to it. When you call the girl that she just answers the phone trying to hit the note still. Oh my God, that was so funny. And then the cake song. I think. Oh, did you send that to you?
Yeah. He loved it. Hey, Todd, the one thing that I did learn excruciatingly and cringeworthy listening to myself is that I know why DJs talk a little slower now and have a deep voice, because it allows you to fill more time and also think of the next thing you're going to say.
Did you ever hear we used to do a bit on the show. We might not have done it since you were gone for a while, where it's that late night guy that goes, and I this is 100%. This isn't even an exaggeration. It's this guy, late night radio guy. I'll do a little bit of it. I live in the Marina Del Rey in a planned community. And a week ago, a knock on my door. I answer the door all the time. I have to go out. I open up front gate. And after the gate is the door that leads into the courtyard in the front of my house, and I've gone out there a million times. Usually when I leave no, it wouldn't be that on a late night talk show.
He has a good producer that plays music.
He does. He has I like how Chris makes it work. Maybe he has a producer that plays the wrong music for him. You're right. That would be. Hey, I need to do a bit where I'm a guy, and I'm a late night guy, and I talk real slow. But in the bit, I have a bad producer and plays music in the background. Chris, can you help me out with that?
I don't know. That seems kind of difficult, but I think I can.
Well, just give it a shot. When I come in, do something, please.
Okay.
Please.
Yes.
So in the middle of the night, I walked out. Thank you very much. That's exactly what I was going for.
Good.
And a lady walked up to me. And I thought nothing of it. When you hear what came out of her mouth, you're not going to believe the police did nothing about it. We'll be back. You're listening to the Todd Glass Show, America. All right, so there's that.
You sound a little like Paul Harvey.
Yeah, a little. It is a. It is a little Paul Harvey-ish. You know.
What is this?
Pause it for a second. Now we're going to decide whether we think Lynn did his best work.
Okay.
Lynn Shore?
Yes, Lynn Shore. I think he's drunk.
Well, he didn't even write this part.
Hey, Chris Bird.
Pause it for one more second.
Whoa. It sounded almost like he said, hate Chris Bird.
No, he says, hey, Chris Burden. But I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to say it on the air. It's Lynn drinks.
Uh-huh.
And he hasn't drank in 5 years. He's been drinking a bottle of bourbon a day. He doesn't even play the song. You know what? He does love you, and I don't think he was trying to be disrespectful. We can almost laugh at it. It doesn't have to be tense. It's almost hysterical. You know when your uncle falls and the Christmas tree falls on him? Well, it's funny because he doesn't drink every year like that, but...
With bourbon sometimes comes love. I don't know if it's real or not.
I think it is. Okay. I think he has an affection for everybody on this show. I think it's just funnier. If it makes you feel any better, he is in rehab.
Oh.
So far,
I changed the bit.
Then why was I so
great? Why was it? Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't understand what you criticize.
What if the whole song's great? My expectations are so high. You go. It's like, cool. Well, you listen.
Burden. Finally, we do a song for Chris Burden because we all love him. And Todd Glass thinks he's really Chris Burden.
Wow, couldn't even just say something simple like great.
Thank you.
All as a booze of his burden.
That's not even singing.
With burden, so I will talk about some burden.
That doesn't.
My name does rhyme with my name.
Hey, Chris Burden. Hey.
Now he's like mocking him. Hey.
Chris Burden. Hey, Chris Burden.
This song could have been written by a word
Chris
generator,
Burden.
and it would have been
You know
better.
what? You deserve better than that.
At least he is sober enough to remember that it took him up till now to write me a song. Because it said, like, finally wrote
Well,
you a
he's been
song.
writing that. He's been writing that since 4 months ago.
Well, thanks, Len. I think I really appreciate it.
Well, let me tell you something, folks. This is the first time during the show I'm going to stop, bring something gentle in, if you don't mind. Welcome, everybody. That's right. Say hi to people.
I thought you were going to tell us what happened when the cops came, when we came back.
Oh. You're like,
You promised.
The fact that you keep track. But I thought
And we
you was
listened to
gonna
all
tell
these
us.
commercials, and now you haven't told us.
I wish I could make something up because you're right. You did. You really go, what the fuck did this girl say?
Really, they won't necessarily tell you what happened. They'll go on another story.
They have no problem
back.
oversetting something up. You know what I mean? They don't have any problem at all oversetting, and then you come back. She told me to move my trash cans. Hey, ever have a neighbor do that in your yard? What do you get? Give us a call, 365-4100. Has anyone in your neighborhood doing anything you can't? You know, it's always like, really? Maybe the goal was to get you to come back from a commercial. That's all they were really doing. You know, it's like, what the hell's this? This is welcome to the show, everybody. I'm kidding around. Here's the real.
Todd Glass, let's listen to Todd Glass. I think he'll make the people laugh and have themselves a blast. Todd Glass, that's what you'll hear, Todd Glass. Sometimes I feel when I'm down low that I may never hear this show.
Aww.
So I pretend that it's Friday. Time for my favorite show today. I'm not quite sure if others hear the sounds of Todd Glass in my ear.
Oh my God, that's so nice.
Todd Glass, let's listen to Todd Glass. I think he'll make the people laugh and have themselves.
You know I'm kidding, Barry, don't you? Barry looks like I'm really taking it in and I'm that enamored.
He actually looked a little bit concerned for you.
Feels so dandy.
What? Dandy?
Listening to Todd's High Candy.
Oh, my cat candy's dandy.
The says it's the best. They think it's better than the rest.
Podcasters Association says we're the best.
You'll see why the reviewers glow from listening to the
Well, could you come back with the chorus again, or is that asking too much?
Todd Glass.
Oh, thank
Todd
you.
Glass. Let's listen to Todd Glass. I think he'll make the people laugh and have themselves a blast. Todd Glass, that's what you'll hear, Todd Glass. It's only when Mark Maron's done that I can truly have my fun. But there's nothing to fear when I can hear Todd Glass. Todd Glass, let's listen to Todd Glass.
He writes all his songs in an ice cream truck. It was really good. Who did that song?
Jingle Joe.
That's Jingle Joe?
I love that.
He's great.
The bad guy from the Air Bud movie that had the ice cream truck. That's the guy that wrote that song.
The bad guy. I like it when you show your age, Chris.
I was talking to
Martin's the guest host. Tom Martin's in charge. Todd put him
It was really funny when you play this. When I was like
time of need.
searching my brain for what to do next, it was always a relief.
Oh,
Like,
it gives you a second. What do you think I do the jingles for? You're like, no one can be lost that much. That means he's lost 98% of the show.
Todd, have you found it gets easier to host? Because I imagine that it would, like after 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 80,
It does
it
help.
gets a little easier.
Well, I'll tell you when it's easier. The more like I knew everybody here.
Right.
You know,
right,
and then
right.
you know what you have to throw to. And that's why Chris is here, because when he was there, and I would realize if you looked up for 1 second to give him a cue, you lose somebody.
Right.
And it's annoying. Like, you ever go and do radio and the person's not listening to you?
Yes.
So it is hard. In the beginning, I swear, people, God bless them, would sit and talk to me for 30 seconds while I was arguing with Chris about what music to find. Or not arguing, but like, no, the one with the thing. No, not the music with the clown. No, the other music with the thing. And then they would just keep talking because they sort of knew, like, and then that's
Todd, do you ever
better.
get this after
Does that make
the
sense,
show?
what I just said?
Yes. But after
Podcast hangover?
Yes. Where
Yes.
you're tired but you can't sleep? Is that podcast hangover? Because that's where I was. I was exhausted from just the mental energy of trying to concentrate on everything, but I couldn't sleep because I was all amped up.
Well, you know, when Daniel did it, he didn't give a shit. And I think that was on his side. I think you can't. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but it might be.
No, he cared. He did.
But there's an amount that you should give to it, you know?
Yeah, but my point was just being silly. But as far as you're going, yes, exactly what you just said. You go home and you start but it's, you know what? When I start thinking like, really, what's the big, why that much? You lay awake and you're thinking, yeah, just like stand up. Then it makes sense. You're like, when you start doing stand up, same thing happens. For some reason, that brings more clarity to it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh yeah, it's the same thing. So anyway, what are you going to do, right? Hey, I was on a plane I don't want to brag.
An aeroplane?
An aerial? You don't know one of man. We don't
flying plane?
What? You ever see someone go out of their way to have bad diction? I never understood that. Looks like, come on, you got to be trying. I'm talking about like on the news, somebody in the back hills. Like, there's no way you can get it that wrong. It's like,
Well, they might.
You're right.
You got to travel more.
Hey, I don't want to pick on anybody.
Yeah, why are you so mean, Todd Glass?
I'm not.
Why are you picking on diction people?
You're right. I was on the airplane, and I've never had this happen, and it's carpeted. I do not want to be cocky and wrong or mean and wrong. It's not a good combination. So I thought, I fucking didn't say anything because, let me tell you what happened. I had my plane. I was on the bulkhead, and I had my feet on the wall in front of you. It's carpeted.
Right.
It's carpeted, like
Right.
the floor. By the way, you might go, really? What about if it wasn't carpeted? Because they're not all carpeted. Sometimes there's like an equivalent of plain wallpaper on it. Yeah, you're right. I put my feet on it anyway, but it was carpeted. I've never had a flight attendant ask me not to. Because to me, it's like you're sitting up there, and it's like, it's where else? Sometimes you don't know where to, it's the only way you can stretch your feet out, because a lot of times. So she goes, could you, she said, honey. In all fairness, I thought she was trying to be somewhat nice, because the guy next to me goes, honey, that was a little insulting. I go, I think she was actually trying to, She goes, honey, could you please take your feet off the furniture?
Off the furniture, not the movable wall.
Well, I didn't want to be the...
No, that's the worst part of it, is that she said furniture, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
I keep picturing it was the woman who had the window seat, and you wouldn't let her in.
Oh, no.
Like, can
So
you...
I pretend that it's Friday, time for my favorite show to play.
What if I was that stupid? She goes, could you take your feet off? Meanwhile, she's like, and then I go, no, I won't. I'm allowed. She goes, I just want to get over to my seat. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're like, crawl under.
Well, that's what happened next month. Because let's say that happened and that was the flight attendant. Next month, I'm so alert. I go, you know what? If that ever happened again, I'm going to let loose. I'm going to let loose. I'll tell you that right now, Tom. I really will. And then 2 months later, a month later, I'm on a plane. A woman, not a flight attendant. I thought she was a flight attendant. She comes down. She goes, excuse me, could you just move your feet? And she maybe says so I can get in there, but I don't hear it. I go, no, I won't move my feet. I'm a paid customer. And let me tell you something. I'm not one of these guys on the plane that treat you with disrespect. But you know you're going to stick up your ass. And I'll tell you how you know, because I'm a reasonably smart person. And if I was told more times than once in 30 years of flying to take my feet off of that, I would educate myself to think that that's not the norm. But the fact is, not one time has anyone ever told me to take my feet off of there. Now, either I've had a lot of employees that don't give a shit about the plane, and you're the first person that cares about the plane, or most flight attendants get it. Like, that's a weird place to sit. You put your feet up. It's carpeted most of the time for a reason. You got to stick up your ass to walk down. You want me to fucking take my feet off of there? No, I'm not fucking taking my feet off of there. I'm going to sit here. I'm going to fucking relax. And if you think TSA is going to yank me off the plane, you got another thing coming, you pile of shit. Sir, I just wanted to get over to my seat. That's all. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. How you doing? Are you first time flying? I try to.
You want the sports section?
Yeah, I try to go back to being. Hey, first time on a plane. But those nervous questions. Oh, that was a good bit.
That was good.
That could be. Picture that, a cartoon. There we go. The flight attendant. Maybe we should give some voiceover afterwards. Excuse me, sir, but would you mind taking your feet off of the furniture, please? So I want to give them choices when they're going back in there. They can go back and put this and then play this too. So people think, oh, some of those voices Todd Reed did afterwards, and then they layered them in. Let me try it another way. Excuse me, sir, but if you don't mind, could you take your feet off of the furniture? Do you get it? That's going to be the flight attendant within the bit we just did. Do you follow me at all?
Yeah, I do. But I'm wondering if it's going to be flight attendant, which was the first version, or if it's going to be somebody who is trying to get to their seat.
I have to do that voice too, in case it wasn't good in the one we just did. I'm going to do a version of that too. Well, they could. Okay, so here we go. I'll be her. Well, we'll probably have a woman do that. In post, they might change a little bit, but I'll try to do it.
But this is animated too, as we peel away from the bit into the bit.
Excuse me, could you take your feet off the furniture? So I can walk to my seat. Get it? Like they didn't hear that part. 'Cause well, what happened was she sneezed. She goes, excuse me, could I just Oh, she has laryngitis. She goes, and in the cartoon, I want you to make her like she's obviously cold. She has napkins all over her mouth, and then she goes over. This is what leads to the confusion because she goes, "Excuse me, take your feet off of the furniture so I could get it." That's her character. Then I turn. They use what I did before, and I go, "No." But that's already done. That was perfect.
But maybe to make it less sympathetic, what if it was Jerry Seinfeld who wanted to get into the seat, and then maybe then people would feel more justified. You would seem more justified in your anger.
Excuse me, but do you mind taking your feet off of the furniture so I could go sit down over there, please?
That could be a good way to do it too. It could make her really mean. The meaner you make her, the more you don't feel bad for me going off the second time, maybe. If she's mean up front, you understand where his hostility comes from.
Yeah.
Excuse me, but I'm a flight attendant and I know what I'm fucking doing. Get your dumb feet off of the furniture, you with your big fat fucking head.
Well, you know what would help too if you'd got a backstory where you see her like giving people warm towels and peanuts in first class, braiding someone's hair.
Oh, she's so nice in first class.
And then she crosses that one bulkhead thing, and she's the biggest bitch in the world. All of a sudden, she's yelling, and then she steps back just for a second, and then she's like soothing a crying baby, maybe nursing her. And then back to you, it's
nursing the baby while she pours coffee for people.
Yeah, and then she crosses that invisible line into Coach, and then she's all
holding
over
4
you.
babies. Each baby has one breast. See, we're doing a cartoon now. Let's create some fun.
Wait,
what are we holding back on?
Hold on. She's holding 4 babies, and each baby is on one breast. How many
2 babies
breasts
share a breast.
She has superfluous nipples going all the way down.
Yeah, she had other nipples installed.
Right.
Matter of fact, they do a close-up. You can laugh. Or
flight attendant nipples. I know what that is.
Yeah, so then she's carrying the babies through first class. 2 babies, each they share one breast. And then the minute, here she comes, she walks right over, boom. She
Right.
tells another customer, "Excuse me.
Like she's whacking people in the
Why'd you put your call button?" What if the flight attendants are so mad just because you pressed the call button, they insinuate you did it by accident? "Excuse me, sir, but you pressed your call button by accident. We ain't getting shit for you."
See, now we've made your reaction more justifiable. So now the audience is with you when they go off on her.
I did a good job going off, don't you think?
That's going to be great when we animate it.
That's a bit right there. That's what we do. Get your feet off the furniture. That's what we say, you know?
Todd, do you get to the airport 2 hours early now? Or do you, as if you let it slip to like an hour? Because now after this Boston thing, I'm going to the airport tomorrow. I'm thinking I got to get 2 hours again because there's probably going to be like...
Can you not mention that anymore? I don't want people try to enjoy a show every...
Todd Glass, let's listen to Todd Glass.
I do go to the airport ridiculously early because I find it relaxing. And not my whole life, but in the last 5 years. The serenity it buys me to get there early... I get not everyone can do it all the time, and there's a difference. But, you know, the serenity I can get from getting there early and getting a cup of coffee and going in the corner and just slow down a little is I don't know. I do it about 90% of the time. 10% for whatever reason.
Plus, you like to double back a couple times because you get in that elite line because you travel a lot, and you like to whiz past people to get your baggage in first, and then you'll like check in one bag at a time just so you can go like past the people in the regular line.
Oh. Just to show them.
Right, just to use your gold card, elite.
Excuse me, gold card. I always go right up to first class, walk in, you know, and I always show my ticket. 90% of the time, they don't say anything.
Oh, last time I was coming home from North Carolina, the longest line of all was the elite American Airlines group, the people that have that special card because they travel a lot, and the short line was the people who don't have a special person card. So it actually, they've classified so many of their customers into elite.
That's a longer line.
Yes.
And people waiting it. It's still prestige.
Right.
That's Eddie Pepitone
Look at
doing
the carpeting.
Here's Eddie Pepitone doing this, that big. It's still prestige, Margaret. No, Margaret, we're not going in the smaller line because we have an image to keep up. And they don't have a nice red carpeting that's 4 feet by 12 feet. Shut up, Marge. For once in my life, I want to have a little class. And I'm not going to wait in a shorter line that is not as prestigious as the line I'm waiting in that is 7 times as long. Yes, look at that. Maybe there's 700 people in front of me, but I got class, baby. There's a cartoon right there. I can't fucking stop making great cartoons.
Todd Glass, Todd Glass.
And here's what they use during the interstitials. Play this.
Todd Glass.
Then it's shot, still, a still, a still, a still, then to another cartoon. I'll give them little clips to play in between the bits. Now to the cows come home.
We should do this. We should get some cheap animation software and make this happen.
You know what I mean? Where's James Todd Brown? You know, picture this: we get a cartoon. It's hilarious. It's funny. It fades to black.
Oh, Todd Glass Show. Todd Glass Show now. Todd Glass Show.
What if Jingle Joe was also an animator and he made this happen too? Like the next week, he sends in an entire cartoon of what we just talked about.
I'm painting the show for the editor right now. I just send the show over, and if you don't buy this, I'm worrying about you, Mr. Kellison. Come on, let's make this fucking happen. All right. Do you want to hear some of this? You know what I thought? What if Tom, we just took old, like we wanted to make ourselves seem smarter than we were, so we played old clips of things like, oh yeah, I said that years ago. Oh, I said that a long time ago. You know,
what,
like
quotes of things that we
yeah,
said
whatever. You know, you're like, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, that's okay. I know.
Like this. The information superhighway is really going to take off by 1999. That kind of thing?
Oh, play another clip from Tom a long time ago. He says all these brilliant things, and he says...
Okay, it's 1998. I'll tell you what. I got a good feeling about that information superhighway. Won't be long before we all have some kind of handheld information superhighway device.
Mr. Mott, why are you so sure of this?
Well, I just got a hunch.
I love that 1998 to us was the 30s. Well, in this bit. There's another bit. You know, that might have been a 10-second bit, but maybe it's interstitial. Right, that wasn't a bit. Just so you don't lose me here. I get what's bits and what's not bits. Okay. What if I don't know. I just thought of this. Like, you want to go back in time to say, like, something, you know, that would make you so aware and such a forward thinker. What if mine is play mine? No, I know. The buffet closes at 3. See, I knew that. Maybe there's nothing there. You don't ever have to think.
That was your hunch? That was your sure thing?
Yeah, just like a weird thing. You know, I don't know. Let's play this smart kid. And then we'll I think. By the way, isn't this a good character? You love Confucius, right?
Confucius, the Chinese philosopher guy?
Then you're going to love Confused-ish.
Confused-ish?
Confused-ish. Like, it's confused. I have to get a good voiceover guy to say it. What you're trying to say is it's Confucius, but he's confused-ish.
Uh-huh.
So he says intelligent things, but he's a little confused. So they go awry. I can't even think of one right now, but I think it's worth us rehearsing. I think you should bring 5 to the table.
Okay. Bring 'em.
We could also take them from, by the way, take them from listeners. You know, confused-ish. And I'm going to say it right now. We're not, this sounds so cocky. We're not going to be able to use all. I always get nervous if I can't use every of something.
Uh-huh.
But I feel better if I say it because then the listeners are like, okay, we understand.
So something that starts philosophical and then just
ends,
derails.
Some people just they're gonna figure it out because I don't even know. Someone's gonna write them and they're gonna define what they are. I'm gonna get the good. You know, you get those and you're like, this is it. This one they get it. Confused. Is that the way I'm saying it? And now for another episode of
Confused-ish.
It's almost better if there's a weird pause there.
Confused-ish.
You love Confucius. You're gonna love Confused-ish. How about that? This could be, you play like a 4-second cartoon, right?
Uh-huh.
And then it goes black, and then it comes on to a cartoon version of Confused-ish. You loved Confused-it.
Todd, I'm not even exaggerating. I swear to God. We should just right now buy a couple of those Ferraris because we're going to make so much fucking money off of these ideas. Don't even think about it. Let's just get the paperwork going.
You know what?
Pick one.
You're supportive like that. You're supportive like that in comedy.
I'm not even kidding.
Oh, Jesus, you're a maniac. Goes from supportive. Well, listen, I don't really want to take any breaks, so we're going to have to. One day the Sizzler on La Brea will close. Excuse me.
My fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but what together we can do for the freedom of man.
The Todd Glass Show.
Oh, JFK said it all
Network.
But I thought you were going to say, remember how'd you get the president to do your, your jingles?
What if after that one you were like, Todd was like, Todd, that was such a bad impersonation of JFK.
Yeah. Todd, he goes, be honest, it's not the best one, I could tell. Your other one was better. No, this is him, Tom. Oh.
No, I thought it was actually going to be JFK sharing his premonition of the future where he's like, in the future, Todd Glass will have a podcast that is really good and you should try and watch it if you're able to.
In the future.
I mean, if you're not working or babysitting.
In the future, there will be such a thing called podcast, and Todd Glass will have one, and it will be great. Do yourself a favor and take his lead. He's not going to be right all the time, but the purpose of a forward thinker is someone that thinks different and out of the box and a little ahead of you, and you let them lead. The Todd Glass Show will be brilliant. Stop saying retarded.
Todd Glass Show. Voted #1 by the Podcasters Association of America.
You know the comedian Jordan Brady?
Sure I do.
Yeah, years ago I used to work with him all over. Anyway, he had this bit about...
Name dropper.
It used to be that people remembered where they were when JFK was shot. Now people have gotten older, but he had this great joke in the 80s about... He was born in 1964, and he goes, yeah, people always remember where they were when JFK was shot. I'll never forget what I was doing. I was forming eyelids. Because he was the young guy. It always killed. Because at the time, he was about 25, and everybody else was 50. And
yeah, it's funny. Oh. I couldn't figure out what that was.
I was going to let you go the rest of the show, see how long it took you to figure it out.
I would do it. I know Jordan Brady very well, and I remember I didn't know what hair gel was till I worked with him. That's the other things you learn when you're on the road. I had no idea what it was. He's like, what's that? And then the gel was becoming really popular.
Oh,
isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Is that a weird story?
No.
Edit it out. Hey.
Is that Mr. Rogers' trolley?
You're damn right it is! I'm angry about Mr. Rogers' trolley music. Here's the guy. Play more of it! That's great music!
This is the character that cut from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, the angry guy.
Yeah. Play more of my sound!
The yelling, angry neighbor. It didn't work out on the show like you would have thought it would.
Hey, listen, we're going to try something.
Hi, grumpy neighbor. How are you today?
I'm not doing too good, I'll tell you.
Oh, grumpy neighbor, I wonder if we could get our wiffle ball off your yard.
Well, I don't like you because you're different than me, and I don't like people that are different from me. Is that wrong?
Would you like me better if I gave you some of these peanut butter cookies?
Well, maybe you're not so different than me now that I think about it.
Sometimes you can win a new friend by sharing. Can we have our wiffle ball?
Oh my God, it's like one of those things I go, this is fun to do. I hope it's fun to listen to. I just, sometimes I have, I have problems, the original. Sometimes I have problems, and, when I don't know what to do, and, John, you feel sometimes you get lost in this world, right?
Oh, do I ever?
How about you, Chris?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I do?
You've got to bow to the universe when it's all that you can do.
Yeah.
Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. When the changes come and the plans fall through, and there ain't a single thing that you can do. You just bow to the universe. It's got brand new plans for you.
Sometimes, I think, like, do I give too much? Shouldn't I give more to charity? No, that wouldn't be it. That's sometimes I think, like, I don't know where life's taking me. And you know what I do? You know what I do, Chris. You've got to Bow to the universe when it's all that you can do. Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. When the change is gone and the plans fall through, and there's only single one thing you can do. You gotta bow to the universe. You gotta bow to the universe. It's got brand new plans for you.
That was beautiful, Todd. That was really beautiful.
You know, everybody goes through those times.
Yeah, sometimes you're confused and you think you're not going to make it to the podcast on time, and there's traffic, and you feel like, is there anything I can do? Could I struggle against traffic? Should I honk my horn? Should I swear out the window?
Can I interrupt you, Tom?
Sure, Todd.
I think you should do something that I do when I get into situations like that, Chris. You've got to bow to the universe when it's all that you can do. Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do.
When the change is gone and the plans fall through, and there ain't a single thing that you
can do.
You just bow to the universe. Got brand new plans for you.
You know, sometimes I just, I don't, I think to myself, Tom, tell me what you're trying to tell me.
Trying to taxes. Maybe you don't like paying taxes.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes I think taxes are due soon, and I'm stressed out of my mind, and I have an extension, and I don't know. I'm getting worked up, and I think once again I don't have money. I don't know what to do, and then I tell myself, you've got to bow to the universe when it tells you you can do. Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. Come on, everybody. When the change is gone and the plans fall through and there ain't a single thing that you can do. Bow to the universe. It's got a brand new plan for you. Barry, do you want to come over? Do you get stressed out ever? If you don't want to share it with us, you don't have to. You want to, take your headsets off and go over to that microphone right there and talk to us. Don't get nervous. Bring the music down. That music can be really scary sometimes for a new person that's not in the show business.
He doesn't have headphones.
Well, he can. It's okay.
Oh, so yeah, I can't hear myself. But
well, go ahead.
Even that's a little stressful.
Talk about it.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm talking too loud or too soft, or if what I'm saying is funny.
Can I stop you? Because you're getting so nervous, I feel bad. Can I suggest something? Here's what I do. You've got to bow to the universe. Tells you what to do. Come on, everybody. When the change is gone and the plans fall through.
Tells you what to do.
Really? When the change is gone and the plans fall through and there ain't a single thing that you can do. Bow to the universe. I think you all did a great job. Hey, is there anybody else maybe that wants to share with us?
Sometimes when I'm flying standby and I don't know if I'm going to make a flight, standby when you're flying and the seat's not confirmed because your dad works for an airline and I don't think I'm going to make a flight. So it's really stressful, and sometimes you get stuck at the airport for long periods of time.
Can I tell you something? Can I interrupt?
You have to eat McDonald's. Yes.
What a selfish person. Am I right?
All these other people had these things that were really difficult to understand. And then,
my dad, he flies for free. That's a gift that he gets from being with his family.
Yeah.
And look, Tom, look, Chris, I think that's a little selfish, but I'm going to be nice. Okay. Here's what I think you should do. You've got to bow to the universe when it's all that you can do. Louder. Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. When the change is gone and the plans fall through, there ain't a single thing that you can do. You just bow to the universe. It's got brand new plans for you. Well, can we get a little more music in the background, please?
We could.
Keaton, do you have anything you want to share? And you don't have to. Say that sometimes you're afraid to play the drums, and then make it that. I'll tell you why. We'll make it make sense.
Well, to be honest, I'm a little stressed out sometimes when you're going to your friend's podcast and everybody get a chance to take a turn at the mic, and it seems like they've forgotten you. And you just think it's just one more thing on the straw, the camel's back. You know, it's one last straw. It's I got no job, and I'm stressed out about that too. And I thought coming to the podcast would be this one place I could, just kind of get away from it all. And I gotta say, I was for a minute there, I was just a little upset, and I thought they're just gonna skip right past me. I'm the last guy at the podcast here, and everyone else has gotten to get up there and say a couple things that they're stressed about.
All right. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
Okay.
Can I give you a suggestion? This isn't even funny. He's stressed out. Let's not joke around.
You're right.
Can I give you a suggestion?
I wish you would.
Tom, am I right?
It's hard to say. I mean, what's your suggestion? Do you have one? Because
I'll do
so
anything.
far there's been a couple that have worked out.
I'm not joking around. If I were you, I think I might do. You've got to bow to the universe when it's all that you can do. Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. Go louder, guys. When the change is gone and the plans fall through and there ain't a single thing that you can do. Bow to the universe. It's got brand new plans for you. That was fun.
Would JFK bow to the universe?
You gotta bow to the universe when it... Start over. Start the music over. You've got to bow to the universe when that's all that you can do. When the blow to the universe, when it tells you what to do. When the change is gone and the plans fall through and there's only one single thing that you can do. You just have to bow to the universe. It's got brand new plans for you. Pussy.
JFK was raunchy.
Yeah,
that's
he was.
Fun. Isn't that fun?
Yeah.
I could see me doing that around the house.
JFK could be a good late-night talk show host that could keep you listening through the commercial. Just anything he says keeps you on the edge of your chair.
You mean like if they left the live feed on, what would he be seeing? Wouldn't it be great to hear when people like that... Well, there's a video of him where anybody old time getting mad because
right, that
cursing,
clip you played that one time where he's yelling at the guy who bought the furniture.
These son of a bitches have no respect for the common man. If it's good, I don't even know if he said anything but if it's old and defensive and ahead of the time, then that's even better to hear it in the background. Someone really being like, play it again. I don't know why that this society we have to fight for one person's rights at a time. It's no excuse in this era that common people have a problem with segregation, with segregating people. Just, we're above it. It's fucking imbecile. It's fucking just imbecile. It's one fight at a time. And it's hard not to get it's hard not to get angry at it, because it's just fucking silly. Someone to hate another person. Bow to the universe when it's in the remember you. Bow, just Chris.
To the universe when it tells you what to do. When the change is... Wait, hold on.
No, don't hold on.
No, I got it.
No, we can hold on. We've got a show to do.
Should we start over?
Start it over.
Universe. Yeah.
No, the whole show.
Start the whole show over?
Yeah.
You know what? I think you're right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Funny guy, Todd Glass.
He's ready for it.
Okay. I hope that was so much fun. I have a few things we can do. By the way, we're doing this without breaks because Katie's not here, but
we can take breaks.
You want to take a break?
I'm capable of pressing pause also.
But do you think if you press pause, you're going to figure out? Do you think, by the way, this is a great moment. I'm going to make this moment worth it, that if for some reason he presses pause and we erase shit, but we only get up to here, it'll be word. Now, if he erases what we had, this isn't going to help. But if he erases, let's say he gets all this, but then when he presses pause... the rest of the show never gets recorded.
Well,
I'm going to make it be worth it because this is the last thing people will hear. We would never pull a joke. If this is the last thing people hear, I want you to know I don't want to come in and post and go, we lost the rest of the show.
Percentage of that happening, like 50-50, 90-10.
Well,
the chances of
I'll tell you what it is. I think it's
technology.
Probably about 99% chance he's going to be fine. But on that 1%, I want the audience to know that if this is the last thing they hear, I'm not coming on and post and going, well, you're not going to. I swear to George Carlin, I would not fake it. But if for some reason the next day Chris calls me, and I would feel more bad for him because you know how he'd feel. He'd be like, Todd, I don't know how the fuck this happened. I can tell you the first words out of my mouth to George Carlin would be, Chris, it's okay. Don't, because that happened once to Eric. It's going to happen. Shows are going to get fucked up. But it's probably not going to happen. If it does happen, I'm more empathetic because he'll feel bad. We'll go to. This is it.
Todd,
they just heard it.
Can I add one thing to this?
It would end right now, yes.
Todd, the most interesting thing about what you've been saying just now about our friend Chris here is that if he were to mess up and lose everything after this, they would miss the great piece that we're going to perform when we come back.
Hey, I'm here with you. I didn't go anywhere. We just thought we'd let you be in a good place for a while. And we're just going to shut up. There's a time to just shut up.
Do the listeners have to shut up too?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you got to let someone be in their own headspace. No podcasts do it. They're scared shitless. You know why they're afraid? Look, as nervous as I can get doing this sometimes in the beginning, you get to know the audience. The other podcasts, I feel bad. They're scared shitless that if they just play a song, people are going to stop listening. But our audience, we know we're not going to lose them. They're going to enjoy it. They're going to go on their own little journey. And then they're going to come right back. These other podcasts, it's like, stop being so, I got to talk and talk and talk. Sometimes you shut the fuck up and let people take 40 seconds.
Todd, it's their desperation to be voted #1 by the Podcast Association of America, where you just want it naturally. They're after it, you know?
I think you're right. I just thought of something. I feel bad. I bet it's exhausting. Imagine doing a show. Like, look, it's not like we take breaks.
Now I have to edit.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Just leave it in.
this.
I go. Start it over. Like, I don't know what I'm thinking because I can't whisper into a microphone. What am I, an idiot?
So I'm leaving all this in?
Yeah, it's okay.
They'll know to ignore the whispering.
Oh my God, I'm turning into Katie. She says stuff like that. So I'm leaving all this in?
Just play it. I'm turning into Katie. Tom.
Yes?
I'm starting to feel bad for these other podcasts. Think about it. Now, granted, I do the show in 99.9 whatever I'm doing the show, but those little breaks are important. And think about doing a podcast. You can never shut up because you're scared shitless that if you give your audience a chance to go inward, that they'll just tune out. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's like they're gripping. They're gripping too hard for what they need instead of just letting it come to them.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a good song. It is a good song.
Really good.
Hey, this is a fun song to take the trash out to.
Just get high and lay on the beach in the warm summer.
I think that's a good idea, and I like your suggestions. I don't want to be like when some talk show hosts, they make the band's, hey, the band's smoking pot. No, I don't want to be that. He has to, you should get high. I go, thank you. You're right. I'm going to take your advice.
Todd, I'm not in a band.
You know what I mean. I don't know what I mean.
Todd, how often do you go to the beach, living so close to the beach?
Honestly, I don't go at all. I would go
if anyone ever goes to the beach.
If it was in my backyard, I wouldn't go. If the walkway broke, that was 3 feet, that man, I had to go 7 feet to get to it. I am really lazy.
If your back door was locked and it was just in your backyard beyond the door, you wouldn't go to the beach.
I would go. Yeah, I lost the key.
If the high tide rolled into your bedroom, you might not even put your foot in the water.
You just stay in bed all day.
Yeah, you're right. Yes. Todd, you haven't been out to the beach? No, I lost the key to my French doors. You know what I like? Those houses where they have the garage doors in them. It's sort of a modern look, and they open up the garage door, and the whole wall opens. Like, opens up a whole wall. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Hey, right now it doesn't even have to be funny. We're just giving ideas of houses we like. That's the name of this show. And now, back for more. Here's my favorite house in the way I'd like it to be. Yeah, I like one of those homes where it could be indoors and outdoors, and you open up walls that are like garage doors, and it's just like this gigantic indoor-outdoor space.
You know what I like? I like when the kitchen counter is 3 inches higher than the standard kitchen counter, so you don't have to bend over, because I'm slightly taller than average. Why should I have to hunch to do the dishes?
You know, I got to agree with you. Why do medicine cabinets have to have any depth? If anything, they should be 5 times their normal size and use the space that's in between the 2x4s. You could have gigantic medicine cabinets that were 6 feet high. Is this stupid?
I'm trying to decide that. That's why I've been so silent.
Whenever I get... Well, let me tell you something. You're wrong.
Silence is golden.
And here's where I need you people. To George Carlin, have never asked for your help like I'm going to ask for it right now, and I can handle the truth. Tweet if that bit was so silly you were enjoying it, or you can tweet, or go to the tweet it.
Are you talking about just the home part, or just the empty space part?
You said that as if we were broadcasting live almost.
Well, no, when they listen, I want them to tweet. Was the build up to that? Hey, I don't mind. It's going to come from a loving place. Here's the difference. If you go, because here's my theory. Even if we do something for a while, let's say I'm high and but I think I'm making sense.
No, you are making sense.
Okay, hold on one second. No time for the music. Okay, the sort of the agreement that we have with the audience. It always sounds silly to say it like that. Is if you go off on a tangent sometimes and it's not funny, we'll be patient. It's okay because it could have been hilarious. So you went down a path, you got lost. We're with you. That's why I'm comfortable because I feel like that's the audience. But there's no negating that they might have still said, yeah, that was a flat patch. We love you, but it was. That's what I want to know. So it's not coming from a mean place. But it'll really let me know a lot. When we were just doing that thing with it was so ridiculous. Like, why would that be a show? You know what I mean? Oh, I like this. Who gives a shit? Like, how would that be a show? People go, you got to listen to it. It's on like 97.1.
What things we like about houses?
It's almost like the Food Woman. Like, what if she inspired us? You know what I mean? Like, but
somebody would like it. If they put it on HGTV, my wife would watch it.
Well, anyway, but the point is, in this bit, it wasn't trying to be sold as anybody would watch it. It was the absurd of had to be the worst show in the world. But you're probably right, going, you never know. But it was so fucking ridiculous that it made me laugh, and then the music comes on. Now, when you were listening to it, were you enjoying it in that absurd way, or were you like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Or did you hit that 15-second fast-forward button?
Yes. There you go. So how do we give it? We got to make it easy for people, because if everyone writes a different quote, I won't be able to. How about, we were with you, or you lost us? Right? We were with you just means we were with you. Means
just
we were
about
with
the
you.
home show thing.
Don't be shy. Just don't get crazy ideas, everybody. We're only talking about
don't get criticizing everything.
Yeah. So because of all the prefacing and because I'm a little lost, so I want to speak for everyone that's like me. Can you just start say exactly what the idea is? You want people to tweet.
I want them to tweet the bit when we were talking about I like this house and I like this house with dumb music playing.
Music.
The worst. This week on Here's What I'd Like in My House. This week, Todd Glass and Tom Martin. Right, and then it's that whole show. Pause it. I don't want to make it sound better than it was. Were you with us? So you write, we were with you, or you tweet, You lost us. That's it. Oh, I hope so many. No, I don't want to tilt the listenership. Just tell the truth. The truth.
In season 2, it'd be fun to animate that. Just
Are we in season 2? What season are we in?
Well, I don't know.
Season 2 of the animated Todd Glass podcast show.
Okay.
We're in season 1.
How about the kid? I think, you know what? We got a long time left on this show. So, I mean, tonight. So I think, like, play this kid, let it breathe a little. Remember what I said. If it's not doing it for you, you tell me. It's the kid's brilliant no matter what. We're not negating whether this is a brilliant kid because I don't think he's digesting and just repeating what his father said. Just get the feeling like he's a smart little kid, but not so smart where he scares me, to believe it or not.
Where'd you
like
find
he's still
this?
a little kid.
This is an audio clip you found somewhere?
I met him online.
Where online?
There's a video. There's a YouTube clip. See, Todd, you do that. There's a YouTube clip, and somehow you know when you're just looking for stuff. It was inspirational speeches. I think I looked up for the PSAs like that we do on the show. You know, like these.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The Todd Glass Show on the Nerdist Network.
Of course, we inspire. Keaton, you're a ball. Hi, I'm Keaton. This year on the new show on NBC, it's Keaton. Sounds like a good show. All right, fade it out. We're talking about
the kid, the smart kid.
Yeah, so we're going to play the kid, and then I got off on a tangent there. So this is the kid, and no, we were just. Oh, you played the music, and I got lost. All right, so here we go. Maybe we'll enjoy it.
We are on Earth, and the Earth is just one planet in the galaxies. You could compare that to an ant on the patio in this backyard. The ant doesn't know that there's more than the patio here. He just keeps walking. He doesn't know he's just part of of lots of worlds, and the human race is sort of like that. After they've discovered what's up there, they know they're only a little part of the huge galaxy. I think there probably are many different kinds of life forms, cells and organisms. Some may not be visible, some may not have been discovered, and some may be on places we can't
Can you
go.
pause it, but without
And
down here,
they all
right?
might have the same perspective as we do on this.
So anyway, I guess this is very enjoyable for me because I didn't feel he was just, like we talked about, regurgitating what he had been told. Now, somebody else might disagree, but how do you feel? Do you feel like he's...
Definitely, because my son, when he was about 8, I remember he would ask questions about infinity. And he would say, what is infinity? What's after infinity? And he was trying to wrap his mind around the concept of infinity at about 7 or 8 years old. And then one day he started asking, what's the difference between 0 and infinity? And then I was thinking, whoa, because I think that's a mathematical thing. I think that's something to do with calculus. It's beyond my math ability. Maybe if there's a listener who understands math, he can explain. But I think my son discovered something about calculus, about the similarities between the concept of 0 and the concept of infinity. In other words, the emptiness of zero.
He said this?
My son, when he was about 7 or 8. That's what I'm saying. This is a common thing. I think kids start realizing this kind of thing, and then
what did you said? The public school system,
and then it's kind of just crushed out of them. But yeah,
you know what? I'm sure you agree with this. What I'm about to say is about it's like I make that. I always hear that. The sort of about the public school system and that joke, and I always laugh at it. But then when I went to visit Andrea, and you realize, how and no one is really, including you or me, when we've made fun of the public school system, we just get lazy with it. Because I'm sure you'll agree with what I'm about to say. That must blow for a lot of great teachers in the public school system.
Yeah.
But it's more to not the teachers. It's more to, it seems like, the administration,
the institution,
which they're bound by a lot of problems and that they share. So it's never to really make fun of it because there is a shit ton of great, I mean, like sort of, even though it would echo what people said about Mr. Rogers, like when you meet teachers like that, you realize how good we can be as a species, those type of teachers, which I had I was just lucky as shit to get a lot of those teachers because, man, it was hard for me because of the dyslexia. I was smart enough to know they either got me or they knew that I knew when a teacher knew I was smart. That's why I liked them. Like I knew they got my sense of humor. I knew it, and that made me like them. So kids can tell whether their teachers think they're smart or not. There's a respect that you get. And I felt like I got that respect from some of those teachers, and I loved it. And it made me feel really good. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And there are a lot of those teachers out there and then they've got to be under this.
Right. Well, there's also a curriculum, which is something that they're required to teach, and it isn't designed to promote this kind of kids' thinking or exploration.
Imagine in some of the Catholic schools, like, isn't that weird that in this somebody should go? When did they used to beat the shit out of kids when they had left-handed? What year was that? Was that the 1400s? No, when was that? I'm sorry. Keep playing it. Well, when they no. I'm trying to get the year here. Do you know sort of the year so we can play this game?
Sure.
When they used to do it still?
Yes.
Okay. So what was the year? No, I'm sorry. I know I don't know the year, so I can't correct you. No, they used to the way they were born, they would beat their hands. Was that? Oh, it was the 12. Was it before?
No, more recent. A lot more recent.
Oh, it was into the 1740s?
Well, they did it then too, but I'm sure more even recent than that.
No, I'm talking about when it was still done.
It was still done even.
They stopped that. What was it in the 1800s?
Well, they did it in the 1800s, but they continued after the 1800s. No,
you're misunderstanding me. The barbaric act of taking a ruler and smashing a child's hand that was born that way for some weird reason.
You're talking about hitting a left-handed person's hand in order to make them right-handed?
When did they do that to? What year was it?
They continued to do that after the 1800s.
The 1900s and the 1950s, they stopped it?
Some people stopped in the 1950s.
Does that not show? That should be like, shut up! There's no fucking way they did that. You fucking. By the way, it gets into the 50s. When are we? I'm a little shaky on when it stopped.
Probably around like 1950s, 1960s. It probably stopped because then there was a lot of science behind the advantages of being left-handed. For example, if you were to line up a bunch of people who could do the Rubik's Cube, a lot of them would be left-handed, much more than the general population.
Is that true?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they somehow are able to use both sides of the brain better. So it isn't a curse to be left-handed.
Why, if God wanted people to left-handed to look stupid, then why would he made them right, like really cool? You ever see a left-handed person right? First time I saw it, I was like, look at, there's something like very stately about that.
Any lefties here?
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I thought, but anyway, I was being silly that God
Chris Bird's
afforded them that. Well, you should see him. But he puts it in his foot.
Yeah. I write like I'm shoveling something, says Todd.
So
there might be others, and that maybe they can find them someday, but at the moment, they don't know. You never know for sure if there really is anything in the search. It's an endless quest without knowing what your quest is. I think it's realistic at the same time as it is fantasiful. Yeah, it's just very complicated because you have no proof that there's anything out there. The only proof is yourself.
Right.
And where you are in the universe, and you can only make theories. You can never know the truth. That's one of the hardest questions there is. I would say what the meaning of your life is what you make it. What you think, what you want your life to be. Nobody can decide what you will do except for you. You have control over yourself. You may not be lucky enough and the odds may be against you, but there's never a definite no that you cannot do this. It may be predestined, but you can change that destiny.
Oh, well, that's tricky. But it's good to know.
I mean, I might be wrong. It might be just scheduled, like some play or something, and you act it not knowing that you're part of it. But all the same, maybe destiny's just telling you. Maybe you just know it, and that's what destiny is. Destiny is a guess of what you know, what it knows about you, and what it knows you would do. But then again, I might be wrong, and destiny could be totally in control of you.
Well, this idea is a wiffle ball bat.
Okay.
Training up for the season. In my opinion, baseball is one of the things that is the most special in our lives. But the reason that we play sports is very necessary for the entertainment and for the suspense, because we do not have that kind of suspense in our lives. Art and music are another type of a type of art that is, in a way, visible at the same time. Here, you can hear the sense of color in a way in your mind.
So when you listen to music, do you see colors or hear colors?
Sometimes.
The Todd Glass Show on the Nerdist Network.
You know what was that? I'll tell you the truth. I feel light and educated. And also, like, I just got halfway into a massage.
Yeah.
Where you let go. It feels good, but there's a point in the massage where you will drop.
But do you remember having those thoughts yourself, even if you didn't have a grown-up you could talk to about it, when you were younger? I mean, maybe not being at that level or that able to articulate it, but I feel like a lot of that age is spent thinking about these things and just wondering about them, and then we forget how much time that took up in our minds at that age.
You know what? I hope I say this perfectly. It does have to do with into having children and how hard it is to be a parent when kids get to that age where they talk and 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 they talk. And I'm going to, you know what? My perception of the way my parents dealt with it with me was great. They would say, it proves that I get it. I am about to insult somebody. Good. But not somebody that would once in a while go, shut up, we're trying to watch TV, or lose themselves. If I'm going to put a number on it, because the number that I'm about to give is astronomical of how much leeway there is. It's not like you have to. If 75% of the time, now keep in mind, don't think the other 25 is being like, barbaric, but a little short, a little bit like, not now, but 75% of the time you listen and you listen and you talk and you listen, that's great. But a lot of fucking people don't do that. If that's what you do, you should be so proud of yourself. If once in a while you're a little bit short, or you don't listen as much, or you say, "Oh, let's listen to music in the car." It's okay, I get it. But that's a lot of leeway, and still you're an angel of a parent. I'm talking about parents that never, and that kid needs that so much. To talk and talk. My parents would just say, let's take a commercial. Like, I tell you the truth, I thought that was nice. Like, it never offended me. I'm like, yeah, there's commercials. They just want me to take one.
Right.
And then that would buy them a little time, But this kid's brilliant, and the kids are at that age, but a lot of times they're put into a situation where the stress of the family and the stress of paying the mortgage and the stress, and I get it. But
right, they feel the family stress.
They feel the family stress.
This kid probably had enough freedom from the family stress to explore these deeper philosophical issues.
You got to have someone that's really, I don't know. It's not that there aren't brilliant kids. Maybe I don't have to put a button on what it is. It's fun to do sometimes and figure out. But the truth is, out of some bad households, some brilliant minds come too, for different reasons. But But that's not to mean that that's acceptable. It's certainly nice when brilliant minds come out of homes like this, as opposed to because they've seen so much suffering that they were forced to be brilliant ahead of their times. This is the happier way. I'm okay with that, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Came out right.
See, but I think this resonates with people because he is talking about something that we
I didn't know
all
what the
think.
fuck he was talking about, to be honest.
He's trying to get rid of the ants in the patio.
Yeah, at least.
They were having a picnic. Next thing you know, there's a bunch of ants. You can't reason with ants. You can't step on all of them. So he's trying to figure out a good kind of way. They've outlawed DDT.
Yeah, shut the fuck up.
So how do you get rid of the ants?
Ay, ay, ay.
I was an English fair. One evening I was there.
Got a
lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are standing in a row.
Big
ones, small ones,
some as big as your head.
You give them a twist.
There we go. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts. There they are standing in a row.
The idol of my life. All right, here we go.
Sing it roll a bowl of all a penny a pitch. Sing it roll a bowl of all a penny a pitch. Roll a bowl of ball, roll a bowl of ball, sing it roll a bowl of ball a penny a pitch.
This is how you do it.
Penny a pinch? What does that mean?
Roly boly bowl, a penny a pinch. Roll a bowl, a bowl, a penny a pinch. I don't know what the fuck it means. Bowl, a bowl, a penny a pinch. Roll a bowl, a bowl, a penny a pinch. Roll a bowl, a bowl. A roll a bowl, a bowl. A roll a bowl, a bowl, a penny a pinch. Now you know what it means?
They're lovely.
What?
There they are standing in a row.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Big ones, small ones, some as big as your head. Give them a twist, a flick of the wrist, and I don't know. I've got a lovely bunch of coconuts.
There stands me wife.
The idol of my life. Roly boly bowl, a penny a pinch. Come on, everybody. Roll a bowl, a ball, a penny a pinch.
Harmony.
Roll a ball, a ball, a penny a pinch.
Roly bowl.
Sing it roll a bowl of ball a penny a pitch.
Roll a ball, a penny a pinch.
Oh.
Well, we're talking about one thing, and then we want to talk about something else, so we got to get there on a trolley.
Oh, yeah. Let's get on that trolley. Are we
There
in the
we go.
land of make-believe?
That's right.
Or make-pretend?
I like to do all the voices. What if I did, but horrible? Just like, but you knew I love Mr. Rogers, but they're like, man,
But he
when
did
he does
do all
that,
the voices of the puppets.
yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah.
Well,
Well-
it did the job. Even me, I'm allowed to joke about Mr. Rogers. I love him so much, he would laugh at that joke. And by the way, to George Carlin, I think he would, because he knows what I mean. Like, those characters were simple. It's not like they were elaborate characters, but they were clean and simple, and kids understood them, and it did the job. Look, I wouldn't suggest. I'm just talking.
He had this character, Meow Meow Kitty.
Yeah, I
do you
know.
remember?
Of course
the thing
I
about
do.
Meow Meow Kitty
Hello?
is that it said meow meow in every sentence. And it was a cat.
And guess what? I like it.
What's not to like?
The people we meet and the relationships we have while we're on this earth just might be what heaven is. So you just might be trying to get to heaven, when if you would just turn and love your brother, you'd be in heaven already.
That's right.
Anybody doesn't believe that, there's a heaven right here that you are just really taking advantage of.
The Todd Glass Show.
That heaven.
It's true. Think about that. Heaven. Everybody wants to get to heaven, and heaven walks by you every day of the week. It's how you treat it that makes it heaven.
Yeah.
The relationship. It's whatever you. It's just heaven. That's heaven. What's heaven? You get off your phone when you're checking out of the register, and you appreciate this form. Think about that when you just break it down to me like that. And I know we talked about this in the show that's airing by itself, but this brings clarity to me in another way. If you thought that the only heaven was, and I make the mistake, but I'll tell you what, in this area, not that much. If you thought heaven, just appreciating another soul, whether we know how it got here or not, this is a special thing. Other people are, it's special. It's unbelievable. Get off your phone and talk to the person as they're checking you out at the drugstore, at the register. Because if that's, all the other shit is bullshit. When you get that, you get life.
Yeah.
And anything other than that, if you're going to a church and you're not doing this, it's not, or if you're whatever you think it is, what if you just knew it was that? I don't know where I'm going.
No, I think, what if heaven was, as you say, and I think so, maybe it's ordinary and common, and it's just our own fucked up lives that makes us pass by that heaven that's all the time available
and by the
all
way,
around us.
I'm able to give validity to this by also stopping and go, I get it's hard. You get stressed out with everyday life, but look, we get that. But the point is, if you know what it is, at least you can work towards it. And it's not a better car. You know? You know what I mean? That you can have less. And they're able to enjoy the things that are placed as upon of you as that could be heaven that you did nothing with. That you make them heaven.
Yeah.
You know? I admire people I do know people that do a decent job at it. I try to remind myself. I'm not saying it in some lecturing way like I think I'm holier than thou, because I'm not. Yeah, I say it, and that's why I'm saying it now again, to remind myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just to remind my fucking self. You know? I had a great rapport in San Jose. We went to a pita place in the middle of the night, and there were like these 3 kids working there. They had the best energy. I fucking loved them. Like, they got my sense of humor, and we were just enjoying them. And we all agreed that we were in there. We made the joke that they broke into the place, and they were just serving us, but they didn't work there. They go, look, we'll open this place up before the cops catch us. So they laughed. They got the joke, right? And then all of a sudden, we're eating our pitas, and I'm not kidding you. There's nobody in there, the 3 of them. They're not gone. We look into the kitchen area. We don't want to look like we're trying to rob the place. We're like, they're not here. So the other comedians I was with were like, what if they really did break into the place? And the cops come down. They go, okay, what's going on? And we smell like pot. We go, there were people here serving us. All right, this place closes at 3 in the afternoon. There was no one serving you. But there were people serving us. So we didn't know where they were. Of course, we knew they would be coming out in 20 seconds. And it was, but still, like, what if? And then a minute and 2 passed by. They still haven't come out. Then we're like, shut the fuck up. And then 5 minutes later, they didn't come out. And then right about at 5 or 6, they came out. We're like, where were you? They're like, we wanted you to think that was true. What happened? We're like, shut the fuck. Like, I couldn't believe that someone, they're in the back giggling, going, no, let's stay out of here. They'll think like maybe that joke was true. I was like, I could have never had that happen at a bar.
Right. Well, because I think that maybe these teenage kids are closer to the smart kid who's talking about the ant and the perspective and all of that. And then as you get older, the more complicated your life gets, the more you get away from that ability to play and to think that way. Because having just done your taxes, and I did my taxes and I did my son's taxes, and it's just a fucking nightmare of bullshit that is the exact opposite of the mindset that is required to be playful or to be curious.
And that's but again, just reminding myself. It sounds like a no shit thing, but you know what? It's not. There's still going to be people that are going to have this happen in their life tomorrow or the next day. So it's always a good reminder. You know, it's just like always drink a lot of water. I've heard it before. I know. I'm reminding you. Yeah. Buy less shit.
Right. Buy less shit. Try and set up your life so you work 4 days a week and you have 3 days off and you don't have a lot of expenses. I think that's the key.
Because think about how many people. Look, there's some people there is living as cheap as they can, and that's the ones I have real empathy for. Do you know how many people? I get it. In a social situation, there's a stigma amongst friends but do you know there's people out there? And by the way, this group exists. And by the way, I want to let you know, I know this is not everybody. Some people are going, no, we don't have cars. We don't have insurance. We're taking the bus now. Mm-hmm. We're living in this modest. I'm talking about, you know, there's also a group of people out there that if they would just downsize and say, fuck it. If they had a therapy session, financial therapist come in and go, listen, this is where you could be in 30 days if you're willing to downsize. You're not going to get the best for your home. You could move from this maybe house on an acre to a townhouse. Mm-hmm. We can sell that. Here's where you can be with 2 paid-for cars. And that they know it too, even at one level. They're probably going, they know what they could live if we're willing to. And you could have the freedom and the patience with your children because you're not going to be stressed out of your mind. But you're going to go from an acre property, I picture a home in Dallas, one of those mini mansions, to by the way, a very, very nice townhouse, but still a townhouse. You know what I mean? And they're not doing it. They're still holding on. Right. Just because of shame as opposed to personal sanity.
Right, yeah.
That's the group that is like, I hope I would never be in that group. And that's why I hope I live in my home till I can have, like, Susie Orman's blessing, if I have success in my career this year, I sell my show. You know how it is. And in a year, with a successful show, you can get stupid. So I hope I don't.
Yeah.
But I still like my Starbucks. Hi, girls. We'll be back. Hey, that's right. Listen up, folks. We are going in for the close.
Tom Martin's the guest host. Tom Martin's in charge. Todd, put him there.
I love Jingle Joe.
I love that song. It's got a great opening.
My fellow citizens of the...
Oh, wait, we played that already.
What if it was Jingle Joe who sent that text in?
Well,
I'm like, I have nothing but compliments for Jingle Joe, but it was Jingle Joe. Like, what the fuck would you let Tom Martin guest host?
I question his work ethic because he put a lot of work into those songs to trash you on Twitter.
Oh, God.
But this song takes me back a little ways. We hope you enjoy it as much as we do. Woke up this morning, I stared out the window and I struggled for something to say. Left in the rain without closing the door. I didn't stand in your way.
I need you more than I need you before, and God knows.
Turn that off. I don't even know why I played that song. It's sad. It's sad. I like happy songs. Okay. I feel like you said you had a karaoke song, but we'd have to make an edit.
Yeah, we'll make it work out.
Do you like kites?
Do I like kites?
Would you like to go on a journey with our audience?
Hey, thanks, Jingle Joe and his friend, for sending this song in.
Is it about kites?
You want to let loose?
I sure do. Letting loose with a kite. Would we get to fly these kites, or we just build them and look at them?
We can float out of our chairs if you just listen to me, and this song will help get us there. But you got to do it with me.
I'll do it.
Take a deep breath and let out all the hot air.
Oh my God!
Tom is flying already. He's 1 foot out of his chair.
I'm hovering.
Now let's let our audience get there with us. You know what to do.
Laughing and it's just and fly. All that's between us is a little yellow string, but we like each other most.
What?
Do you want to do karaoke or just close it?
No, I want to do a karaoke. Yeah, I think
Thought I'm tangled in a power line now.
Oh, we're tired. What do you mean?
I'm a kite.
Oh. I like kites. You know, whenever we play a song like this, I always try to do the same thing with the listener. I don't know why. It just seems like a happy song. One listener, look, I don't want to say this because it'll start a cavalcade of... I said I was going to do one of those talk about them. They go, you can do it negative. Don't send this email back unless it was really you. You said you can do negative, you can positive. I'll trust your instincts. I emailed them back, consider it done, and I lost the email.
Todd, you got to go to the beach just once, just because you say you don't go to the beach.
Let's talk about it.
I want you to go to the beach.
Why do I? By the way, I used to go to the beach.
Well, if it's been so long, this summer, let's go to the beach. I want you to see like how fun it is to put your feet in the sand and run in the surf.
By the way, when I was on tour with Louis C.K., he's into that. Like, I don't mean into that. Everybody's into the sound of it. Who wouldn't want to take a walk on the beach? But he pursues it. So it made me do it. And Jesus, just taking a walk with your bare feet, with your in the water or dry, you can, and just start talking about shit.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. Where are you going, Chris? Okay, yeah, maybe I'll go up there and do it. Anybody? Look, we're gonna. I wish. Yeah, I don't want to create a editing nightmare. So let's do it over here. Because once I go over there, then we're starting an editing nightmare.
Are we recording right now?
Yes.
We haven't started yet.
No, yes, we did. We haven't started.
I mean, maybe you told me to, but I didn't hear you. It's still paused over there.
Is it really?
No.
Oh. Hey, so when I was in Vegas this weekend, we started doing this bit, and maybe I'll just try one. It's harder than I thought.
What? You were opening for David Spade in Las Vegas?
Yes, and David was doing this bit at breakfast where he would start this bit where he would go, he's the one who came up with confused-ish. You know, and of course, you know what everybody says? Like, you hear everybody talk about who's the funniest to hang out with. They always,
Spade.
Colin Quinn, David Spade, Chris Rock, David Spade, anybody from SNL, because he's so fucking funny.
Yeah, he really is.
He is. He says every day, I don't get up for breakfast, except I know when I'm going to have breakfast with him. Like, the minute I get down there, I'm just going to hear like bit after bit after bit.
And I don't think people appreciate how funny Spade is because you just get used to seeing him and you're used to a lot of professional quality and things are edited out. But if you hung out with Spade or if you saw him starting out in comedy, you just knew he was going to just be huge.
You know what? I don't know it about a lot of people, so I'm not one of those people. I have no problem saying, I got to be honest. And someone I liked, it's not in a negative way. I don't think they're going to make it. I'm talking about someone you didn't know. And then, oh my God, they're such a good actor. You know, you see them on television, like, they're really fucking good. And like, you're like, and you didn't see it. You just didn't know they had it in them, which is a compliment. I didn't know. I knew I liked you even. I thought you were a pretty good comedian even. But I didn't know you had, and you do. You have a lot of talent. But other people, I can see it. I like when I can see it. Who wouldn't? But same thing. When I saw David, I knew that. David Spade. Even trying to think of other people in the group. Some people might say no shit to some of these, but not back then. I'm talking about in like 90 or 89.
Right.
I knew Adam Sandler was fucking...
Yeah, I did too.
And that first CD, look, whatever you think of movies, or you go, I hate this, or all his movies, or whatever, I happen to like... I like a lot of them. And then there's some I don't, but I like a lot of them. But I'm talking about the guts of Adam Sandler when he did stand-up. I thought, fuck...
Yeah.
He did the bits we were doing off stage, and he would go up there and just commit to these bits, and I fucking really liked it. I would remember, like, me and Dave Rath, I'd want to be in the showroom when he went up. It was just fun. It was different. It was like watching Rory Scovel today.
Right, yeah.
I thought that
well, Rob Schneider had a lot of that too.
I thought Rob Schneider the same thing. Whenever I saw them, I was like,
and it wasn't as
Dana
if
Gould, like, holy shit.
Dana. It wasn't as if the audiences were laughing louder at these guys, but they were enjoying them on a different level. And not everybody, but there was a sense that what do these guys have that made you sure that they were going to hit in some way?
It would just to me, like, I know we would ask ourselves. I thought for me, it's just that the commitment to what they thought was funny. And it took me a long time to, like, be as brave as that. Dana Gould, I always say this is a compliment. I say it about Paul F. Tompkins, too. Yeah, this sounds like it could be confusing in the middle, but by the end, you'll get it. It's crystal clear. Yes, they've grown since, since 25 years ago or 20 when I thought they were hilarious. Of course they've grown. But I look at their first work and remember their first work. It was still, like, they were brilliant. I know brilliant's a hard word, and you know what I mean? It's a word to throw around. Their comedy was, it was brilliant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even then, I remember seeing Dana. I had to be 19 years old. I think he was probably 19. We're probably about the same age.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck. In Florida working with him, I was like, this is good. At least I knew, even if I couldn't do it, at least I knew what it was.
Yeah, when I saw Dana for the first time and I found out he was my age, I was so bummed because he was at least 15 years better than me. I'm like, how is this guy so good at this age? But he did, he like you, he started at a young age, but he was also, he's really, really, really good.
Like he was 19 or 20, and he was like, these bits he would do, I was like, God damn it, they're good.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough with that. So anyway, the bit David was doing all weekend was he would go, I do not feel well, he would say, every at breakfast. Oh, God. Oh, my God, I do not feel well. I drank too much last night. And the waitress,
Hi, can I take your order?
Yeah, I'll just get the feta cheese omelet with spicy peanut sauce and the gravy mashed potatoes. That's all. I do not feel well. Now, that's funny the first time, but we would do it literally 30 times every morning, and it would just get worse and worse.
Can I order something?
Yeah, you want to look through that menu there?
Yeah.
You don't look good.
Do you need a second, sir?
No, I'm good.
I like Chris is playing the waitress.
Committing.
Yeah, I'm very hungover, and I'm not sure if I should even eat. But the spicy buffalo chicken sandwich, and that looks good. And I like some Swiss chard, but it's Swiss chard, right?
Yes.
Because I don't want any other kind of chard.
The
but
worst
Swiss
cheese.
chard.
Swiss
Just-
chard is the spiciest, grossiest cheese. Grossiest? That's right. I make a word up. Grossiest.
You're hungover.
Are you trying to say grossiest and at the same time also trying to say
Anybody wanna
gross? Thank you, but you're gross. Grossiest. All right. We got to go in for the close. Oh, what song do you want me to do? I'd love to be the guy. Dude, nobody wants me to do any song. Oh, you guys want me to do a song? Do the thing where you all say no.
I'm
like,
Todd.
simultaneously.
Todd, can you stop talking so much? I'm
You
really
don't have
hungover.
to sing every time, Todd.
Oh, yes. Oh, wait. He's back
Can you
into the
not
bit.
sing? I'm really hungover.
Oh, do you want something to eat?
Yeah. Can I just get a Italian sausage grinder? The pork one with the sautéed peppers and the fontina cheese. Can I get it on a toasted roll, please?
Toasted onion roll with honey and butter?
Yes, please. And a side of onion rings.
Thank you. Can you melt some cheese on those?
Yeah, melted cheese on the onion rings. Only Swiss chard melted cheese, please.
Chris Koch used to say, you know, that restaurant where they have cheese fries, but they're not real cheese fries. They take American cheese and melt it with a blow dryer. It's not really melted. I think I'm going to pick up one fry and get almost that whole square of cheese right there. It's made love with that one. Well, so do you guys want me to sing seriously?
No, it's cool.
Do you want me to?
No,
I will.
That's all right.
I got another podcast.
If you want me to sing, I'll sing. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Here's all the new ones, but whatever, you know.
Well, what do you want me to sing?
Don't sing anything, please.
What do you want?
There's no reason
Come
that you
on.
have to sing.
We got to close the show out. You want me to do I Will Survive?
Nope.
No.
No, seriously, guys. Do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? You want me to do
anything but I Will Survive, please. I don't want you to sing, but if you do sing, please do not sing I Will Survive.
At first I was afraid. I was
Don't give him any
petrified.
reverb. Do not give him reverb. He'll continue.
Hello without you by my side. But then I spent so many nights thinking how you did me wrong. If you sing very feminine, you can get through anything. I don't know why. I don't know why this works, but it really does. It loosens you up and it lets you sing. Oh, with that you sad look upon your face. You should have changed that stupid lock. I should have made you leave your keys. I should have known for just 1 second you'd be back to bother me. Oh no, now go. Just walk out the door. Just don't turn around now, cuz I don't love you anymore. You're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to hurt me with your goodbyes? Did you think that I would crumble? Did you think I'd lay down and die? Oh, no, no, no. I will survive.
JFK.
I've got all my love to give. I know I'm alive. I've got all my love to live. I've got all my love to give, and I will survive.
Rodney.
I'll tell you, I'll survive. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, you know what I'm talking about? It's all right, you know? I'll tell you the other day, my wife's not too bright. She hit a deer. She said it wasn't her fault. She hunked. She was in the zoo. I'll tell you, my wife's a bad cook. I found a fly fixing the screen door. I took all the strength I've got. I've fallen apart. I'm trying hard to mend the pieces of my broken heart.
That's Todd Glass.
I've spent all sorry for my...
Who's that?
I don't want to end like this. Turn it off. Bored of it. It was horrible, except the part where I was doing the impersonations. I compliment myself, even while a moment of pure terror.
But isn't it interesting, Todd? We're with Todd Glass here, and we're wondering why he turned off the song when I said to sing as Todd Glass. Let's get into that.
Well, because I'll tell you why. I'll do it my hardest. Play it again, and I will not. I will bare my soul.
Okay.
I know what my look. I know what my abilities are.
What are your abilities?
I know what my abilities are.
Singing wise, or just
I know my
mechanical?
range. I'm getting upset, and I shouldn't get upset. You know what I should do instead of getting upset? I feel like I should just...
Yeah, there's probably something you could do.
I hope there is. Because I'm not feeling well. You've got to bow to the universe when it's all that you can do. Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. When the change is gone and the plans fall through and there ain't a single thing that you can do. You just bow to the universe. It's got a brand new plan for you. That's my range.
You know what? We're all in sync when we say that one part ain't a single thing that you can do.
You want to? I think
It's
we
the
could.
only part.
Can you hit it again?
Yeah.
You've got to bow to the universe.
When
Let's
it's
hold on.
all the...
Let's everybody sing into the microphone. Try. We've never do this. I always say sing away. Let's commit. Now that means we all got to be on the same page. Let's give it a shot.
But before we do,
let's
can
all
we
sing
agree?
softly so
Like,
it's
is
hard
it
to listen to?
when the change is like how is the cadence?
Can I do it in the? Can I start
Yeah,
the
just
cadence?
do the quick cadence.
Okay. You got to bow to the universe when it's all that you can do. Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. When the change is gone and the plans fall through and there ain't a single thing that you can do. You just bow to the universe. It's got a brand new plan for you.
Okay, do that directly.
I didn't like the last part. It's got bow to the universe. It's got a brand new plan for you.
I don't know if you.
I'll do it again. You gotta bow to the universe. It's got a brand new plan for you.
It's a thing. Oh, I thought you were going to cut me off again.
Let's do it again. Let's.
Oh
let's
no, I
sing
was just
it.
going to say the cadence is like.
I just did the cadence.
It's like a church choir singing.
I just did the cadence.
All right. Well, let's.
How dare you insult my cadence?
When we discuss songs, I get stressed out. I don't even know if I can continue, and then I just don't know what I can. You know.
Can I make a suggestion?
Just Tom.
Whenever I get upset,
this
is what I do. Honestly, and I'm not even joking around. You've got to bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. When the change is gone and the plans fall through and there ain't a single thing that you can do, you just bow to the universe. It's got a brand new plan for you. I think got to bow to the universe when it's all that you can do. Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. When the change is gone and the plans fall through and there ain't a single thing that you can do. Bow to the universe. It's got a brand new plan for you.
We all sound really bad together.
I don't know how to end the show. I think we sound great.
Should we?
And our listeners love it.
So if it's,
I just don't know how to end the show, and I'm not lying this time. This time I'm really nervous.
Todd, you don't always have to end the show exactly.
Tom.
Sometimes you can just stop talking. I mean, sometimes you get to the point.
You can't, Tom.
Yes, you can.
Tom, you can't.
This is what you can
by
do.
the way,
Todd,
I'm not going to do this as a
Todd,
bit. I'm not going to
Todd,
just start. I
listen
like
me.
to have a legitimate.
You're always trying to find the perfect ending, but there is no perfect ending.
No, we'll sing the song again. It'll be better. We'll do the song again. We'll just do it better.
You want to try and
Yes, I think we can end with the song.
Out of it?
I feel it will. I just feel like it will, and I don't want to go. Hold on, let me take a deep breath because I don't want to panic. Just sing. Just. We'll do the song, and then we'll edit in the best one. I think if it's powerful enough, but we have to get it right. It's not cute. It's annoying. So let's just do it. Play it again. You've got to bow to the universe when it's all that you can do. No, get into it. Sing into the mic. Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. No, sing. When the change is gone and the plans fall through.
Listen to me, Todd.
You gotta bow to the universe
there are
when it tells you what to do.
There are some things that the bow to the universe song can't fix. Do you understand? You can't use the bow to the universe song as a crutch.
You're right. I'm not crazy.
Sometimes it's okay
to
end the show.
I think, please.
By just chatting.
I'm begging you. Can we just do the song? I want everybody to sing like, okay, maybe we should go back to our old way. But all I'm asking you to do, and I don't want to stop the song in the middle, but here's what I am thinking. I feel like it's dripping out of you. Let it gush out of you. Do it, everything you have. And I don't mean to pick on you two, Keaton and Barry, but like, act like you're into it a little. I mean, stand up and like really just sing. Even, hey, if you don't know the words, I don't give a shit. Just go, bah, 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 bah. Just look like you fucking care. I'll edit this out. I swear to God. I will edit all this out.
So you want us to sing from our hearts?
Yes.
Instead of our heads?
You've got to bow to the universe. Louder! when it's all that you can
Bow
do.
to the universe.
Don't
when
sing,
it
Chris.
tells you
Bow
what to do.
to the universe. And it's only there, and you single thing you do, you gotta bow to the universe. It's got a brand new plan for you. Bow to it.
I'm bowing. Todd, you stole my lyrics.
You've got to bow to the...
No, shut it off.
You're right.
I feel like I'm being obnoxious, and I want to apologize. This is not a good energy. Seriously.
Todd, you're trying to
I'm trying
squeeze too much out of the song.
Thank you. Remember when I said about being a parent, how there's a lot of wiggle room.
Right.
There is a lot of... I hope this is the most that would ever happen. Like, I can catch myself to put anybody through what I just put you through, let alone to think I would do it to a child. It's like a dad at a baseball park. Get it right. Maybe I was a parody of it, but I'm sorry. You're right. That song's not going to work, and you have your range to sing, and I don't know what I expect you guys to do.
Singer.
You're not a terrible singer. I am too, but at least, you're right. We're not good singers.
I think you're avoiding the issue.
Thank
Why
you.
are you so into the perfect ending?
Because it was wrong. I'm sorry.
But you know how we start? It's a very casual start. We start talking. Who's to say that we can't just suddenly end the podcast?
No, I think you're
by
right.
saying good night, everybody, and turning the switch off.
I think that you are, you're right. You're right, because it's...
What would you consider the best ending you've ever had on
what
the
you're
show?
saying to do. What you're saying to do.
Just find a natural ending to the show.
Well, just to be who we are. It starts light and gentle. Let's go out on an airy, fluffy way. I feel better already.
I do too.
Oh my God! Do you remember we talked about when we listened to that brilliant child, which I will know his name in post? You've heard it already.
The person who sent it in, you mean, or the kid's name?
The kid's name.
I don't know the kid's name.
Who sent it in?
Joe.
Joe,
a listener, not Jingle Joe.
I know, Jingle Joe. Thanks for your fun stuff today. And I feel as light as I did when I listened to that kid. Tom, thank you.
Todd. Thank you, Todd.
Oh my God. I feel bad. I want to honestly apologize to you guys. That's not this energy I want in the room when I do a podcast, yelling at people. I was yelling. You know who I was yelling at? You know who I was most angry at?
Todd Glass.
Thank you.
Apology accepted.
When you're able to look at it from the empathy that you just looked at it from. But you guys, hey, there's no doubt you paid the price for it. But just my neuroses cannot spill out as other people's horror. Take control of your life. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, and I'm not proud of myself for apologizing, if you want to know. You know what I'll be apologizing for? I'm apologizing. I hope you accept it. But I don't want you to accept it fully until you watch me make it happen. If I do the same type of thing in a month, it's unexcusable. So I'm giving you an apology, but you know what I want you to accept it? 6 months from now, you can give me credit. Not because I go one day being a human being. And by the way, although I'm sort of foreshadowing this scene in a movie right now, I don't believe I'm this bad, but it does say a message, what I'm saying right now. What I'm saying is true. In the bit, I'm over apologizing for what I did for a fake situation. But this thing deals and happens in real life. People that say, oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't treat you like that. Hey, you say it, right? And then you don't get credit for it. You give it 6 months, a year, be that person. You know, some of these people, they apologize. I picture assistants that have their bosses be mean to them. I'm sorry, I had a lot on my mind lately, and then they go back to being a dick or a fucking piece of shit.
Is it possible that you could find that connection you're talking about that gives that sense of heaven on earth by just letting this airy music play?
Yes. Tom, I want to do the most important thing as we say goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you.
What you do for me, you're like if I had my own private energy guy. To get me into a good place. I want to thank Barry for stopping by, who wrote me a nice tweet once. No, a text message. Nicest text message I ever got. I'm not going to tell you what it is, though. But to George Carlin, it was a very nice text. I know he has kindness in him. See, I said to George Carlin, that means I'm not lying. Keaton, always a fun. It's like Tom said before the show. He goes, Keaton is what a good energy. Did you say that?
No, but I was thinking it.
That was Confucius.
That was Confucius. Confucius.
Confused-ish.
We'll all have our 5 Confucius jokes next week.
And pleasant journeys, everybody.
You didn't say thanks to me.
Who had his own
Chris,
mic.
Oh, you're welcome.
would you listen?
Chris with his mic.
You're welcome.
Chris, what you do here every week can only inspire. The magic of the music. You steer this show from right to left, and it's
And can
nothing
I
to
say
be scoffed
One last
at.
thing. Let's not forget about Eric, who's not here today.
Yes.
Eric,
if you're listening, we mentioned you. Fine.
We're with you. Got a call from Jerry Seinfeld.
I know where Eric is. Call me later.
Oh,
He hung up.
should we call him back? I'm kind of worried.
No, I'll call him off the air.
Okay.
Well, everybody. That is it. That is it. We know. Don't you think we know when you're not ready to say goodbye? Shut the fuck up. Come on. Sometimes you take a little extra time. We know. Are you impressed? That's right. We're here with you. I just wanted to say again, what a fun bunch today. It was fun today, right?
It was fun.
I got a little silly sometimes. It was good. Chris, I want you to have a minute to express yourself. I never really turned the mic over to you fully. But try not to do a parody of this. Try to really say what's on your mind.
How did it feel having the power of the mic?
I mean, I don't know.
You're uncomfortable with it?
Yeah. I think I should
You
go.
don't want the mic next week?
I don't like the spotlight. Like, I've gotten so many negative tweets, and this hasn't even come out yet. And that's just really discerning for me that they know that I have this power, and they haven't even heard what I have to say.
No, I think you do. I think, to tell you the truth, you've been great with the mic.
No, I really haven't, Todd.
No. You have been doing a great job. Seriously,
I
as we go to close.
think you're right.
No, I'm.
When I had anything to say,
this is the problem, that you don't know when to stop. You did a great job.
You're right. I don't know when to stop. We're still having this fucking conversation.
All right, this is not going to end the show well. I think
it's not going to end
why
the show.
can't you take a compliment? You did a great job.
I've never been able to. Statistically, it runs in my family. It's in my blood or genes, whichever part of the science.
All right, so we've been through this before. How do I shut you up? You did a bad job? Because you did.
I don't know.
You did a great job.
Either weed or ice cream.
Well, I'll buy you weed and ice cream if you.
Then we can end this.
Yeah,
right
you did
now.
a shitty job.
But you're right.
I'm agreeing.
No, the problem was specifically every time I had something to say,
it was horrible.
Yes,
right. I'm agreeing.
It was horrible.
I'm agreeing.
It was just horrible.
I'm agreeing.
Thank you for agreeing.
All right, so don't be mad at yourself anymore.
I don't know what else to be mad at myself about, but I'm.
Well, this is an illness
furious.
that you have, that you're mad that you can't be mad at yourself. You know why you're not mad at yourself? See, here I go to protecting him again, because you're mad at yourself because you didn't do anything wrong. That's why you don't know what to be mad at, because you did a great job. You had your mic. You were awesome.
I have clinical anger with myself disease.
Well, now you're just making up a problem.
CAWMS, clinical anger with myself disease.
Well, everybody, you like Confucius.
Disease.
You're going to love Confused.
That was a sinker. The first half of that bit was good. We're talking about it on the show. This is what?
You liked Confucius. You're going to love Confused-ish. Can I get some music? You liked Confucius. You like Confucius. You're going to love Confused-ish. All right, everybody, that is the show. You've got to bow to the universe when it's all that you can do. Bow to the universe when it tells you what to do. When the change is gone and plans fall through, and there ain't a single thing that you can do, you gotta bow to the universe. It's got brand new plans for you. Everybody, that is our show today. We want to thank you. I want to thank Barry. I want to thank Tom Martin, Chris Burden, the always fun and energetic Keaton, ladies and gentlemen. Tom, I'm going to give you the last words.
I get the last words?
Yes, you do.
You're going to edit this out, aren't you?
I would never do it to you.
All right, well, my last words are this. I just want to say,
Oh, I have a son and a daughter. I would never do that to you,
And
Tom.
those are my last words.
Next time you're here with headphones in your ear, there's a lot of show left, so stay right here. Just one.
I know you don't want that one, but that's the one you're getting. If I do a second one, you won't use it. I mean, I'll do it again, but I'll be like, hi, this is Todd Glass. Please go visit my store and visit toddglass.com. By the way, everything in my store, every single product is cheaply made. Because we're green.
Because we've got Todd Glass. We've got Todd Glass. We've got high on the mic with reverb glass. So anytime you're getting low, instead of letting go, sit and let the time pass. Hey, here comes another Todd Glass show. Hey,